See, I don't even care if I got this stuff on. I'm doing another review. Um, Transformers 5 is directed by Michael Bay. Paramount made it. Um, Terrible writers. I don't even know who it was written by. And stars Mark Wahlberg, all the people from new characters, of course. Uh, it just, Transformers One was good. You had a lot of people like that movie, and then when you heard about Rise of the Fallen, it was like, okay, interesting title, let's go on with it. Movie blew. Then you had Dark of the Moon, which was, I thought, the best of them all. I seriously do like Dark of the Moon because it was Shia LaBeouf's last movie, and Shia LaBeouf probably played the character very well in that. And then 4 with Wahlberg went downhill, except for Stanley Tucci doing his comedic scenes. And then this one, which, it's all of them like in a Michael Bay film. The plot is all over the place. You don't know if you're going to go from the military. You're not going to go from Mark Wahlberg's point of view or Anthony Hopkins' point of view or the Transformers' point of view. Even though the Transformers should be the main characters in the story, they're not, and they haven't been since maybe the first one, even though the first one wasn't even that decent. Well, what can I say about this movie? This movie has 3 good things in it. Mark Wahlberg, his performance is always great. Some of the comedy was pretty good. Of course, the action, because Michael Bay, I can say one thing about him when it comes to his other films in Armageddon or The Rock. He knows how to do a lot of action. I totally give him credit for it. Other than that, every other person's performance was terrible in this movie. Anthony Hopkins did an okay performance. I've seen better from him, and he's an old actor, and I can say that. The Autobots, the Decepticons are good. I didn't like how they changed Megatron's voice and Megatron returned. I thought he was still Galvatron, and then they said, oh, Megatron this and Megatron that, and it was just like so stupid. The little girl, she's about, I'm going to say, 13 in this film, saying, I want to fight, and blah, 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 and, it goes downhill. It really does. It was decent. I just think, like, and I'm going to quote probably, I think, Chris Stuckman here, who has said this in his YouTube channel, that Transformers 1, Transformers 3, and Transformers 5 are like the decent ones, while 2 and 4 are bad. It always feels like the odd ones are just very out of place. And the thing is, I think what kind of ruined the movie 2, and if it's been out for a while, so I'm going to spoil it, but Hopkins is telling this British actress, who is now the next Wiki in line, and when I heard the last Wiki in line, I was thinking Sam. But they showed all these pictures of the generation of the Wikis, and then you see Sam, or Shia LaBeouf, and Shia LaBeouf, his eyes are like really like he's high, and then his hair's all the way up. Like either he's a druggie, or second, he's dead. And that just really ticked me off because I thought Shia LaBeouf was really good in the Transformers series. I always did like him as an actor, except for probably Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Other than that, Hopkins, I liked him, of course, in Silence of the Lambs. I liked him in all the Hannibal movies that he did. He was an amazing actor. Was also in The Mask of Zorro, which I thought was a really good movie, and him being in that teaching role. Other than that, I have not seen a lot of Anthony Hopkins movies, and those that I have seen are pretty good performances from him. But with him in this movie, it was kind of like the fact that Stanley Tucci was in the last one, and then Patrick Dempsey was in the third, and then you had they're trying to get big names in the Transformers series, and Michael Bay said that he is not going to return for the sixth film, so they got to find another director. I heard they're coming with a Bumblebee spinoff in 2018, which I'm just like, oh, yay. But seriously, I think they should stop after 5, because Wahlberg even said he's not going to return if Bay's not going to return, and they're going to have to find a new lead character. They're just going to have to keep creating these over Jurassic drastic plots, and it's not going to go well with people. It really isn't. Um, I think Peter Culling, who plays Optimus Prime, very good voice performance. He's always been good. Bumblebee being in this film was always a good one. All the other Autobots I really didn't really pay attention to. I paid attention more to Megatron because I knew that he was going to be in this film, but with a different voice actor, not the one from the first 3 films, which kind of ticked me off. They said that this guy did the voice of Megatron from the original Transformers series and the original Transformers movies back in the 80s. But I'm okay with his voice. He sounds more like a pussy this time around because he's now becoming Megatron again out of the Galvatron. So it was decent from that. But they bring up all this crap about how do we trust these Autobots? How do we trust these Decepticons? I think you should trust at least the Autobots, considering the fact they saved you from Chicago and the Fallen, and Megatron with the Allspark. I think they have shown that you can trust them. Even though damage and people get killed, but that's in everyday life, you should be able to trust the Autobots. But again, they're all, iffy on trusting them, and I'm just like, you're so stupid. You really are. And then the last story plot probably in this thing was this geek that was telling them, he was basically like a scientist or a computer genius and knew a lot about science. He said, do this with blah, 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 and do this with this, and then it never worked, and people proved him wrong. It was so stupid. He reminded me of the guy from Transformers 4. He was with Mark Wahlberg, and he was scavenging for him for parts, and then goes and tells the government, and then also gets killed by the Decepticon. He was also in Deadpool, which he was hilarious in Deadpool. He wasn't good in the Transformers series, and so isn't this geek who's in the Transformers series, so I hope he never returns from that. Finally, Mark Wahlberg gets a love interest, which I was just like, okay, I'm watching about 2.5 hours, 3 hours worth of a movie right now, and it's all action, and then you go to cut to a government scene, or you cut to love scene, or you cut to information scene, and it's just, it got really dumb very quickly. And I think the only ones I do like out of the whole series is the first Transformers, and then the third Transformers in Dark of the Moon. I did like the comedy in 2, but the story was complete crap, and Megan Fox was eh. I liked 4 just a little because I did like the whole thing of the government says no Autobots, no Decepticons, we're killing everybody, but plus they were making their own Transformers, which I was just like, you're stupid and dumb. But anyways, other than that, this Transformers series I'm not a big fan of. I really never have been a big fan of. I like seeing Wahlberg. I do like seeing, a couple of the actors come back, and I forget his name. It starts with Josh, but I forget his last name. He's part of the military, which I always did like out of his character. Tyrese Gibson was going to make a return, but his contract got diminished because of the scheduling conflicts between that and Fate of the Furious, and thank God he was in Fate of the Furious because that was a good movie. But I wish I could have saw him in return because he was funny from the original 3 movies. But I'm gonna give Transformers 5 a let me think here because I gotta contrast good action with a poor storyline. So I'm going to give it probably a C-, D+, right in that range. So probably a 6.5 or a 6. It's okay. If you want to see good action and go see a summer flick, Transformers is always going to make you laugh and always see action and heartfelt performances. But there's no good storyline, and that's what Michael Bay has been doing for the past 2 decades, is making these movies with no storylines. The last time he probably had a storyline was probably Armageddon, which already sucked anyways, and then The Rock, which The Rock is good with Connery and Nicolas Cage. I do like that movie. That's probably the best Bay has ever done, and that was made, in 96. So, other than that, I gave the film a 6.5. I give it a 6.5, maybe 6. It lacks, of course, a lot of story. The action is only the reason why it keeps it at 6, but I might even put it at a 5.5 because the storyline just flippin' sucks. It's been sucking since Michael Bay has been on this. They wanted Steven Spielberg to actually direct the franchise, but of course Steven knowing it was not going to be good. You know, it just never really happened. But yeah, sorry guys for this thing. I've got my wisdom teeth out today. They're not hurting, so that's why I'm talking on a YouTube channel right now, and you know, just living the dream right now. But I'm gonna give Transformers 5 a 5.5 or 6. It's just not good. You know, it's better than 4, it's better than 2, but it's not better than 3 or 1. And, you know, I'm not, they said that they're going to probably make another 10 Transformers. God, I'm not going to be around watching all those. My kids are not going to see all these, even if they do like Transformers in the future. But no, I'm not, can't do it. But look for my review of probably Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I'm probably going to go see that in a couple days when my wisdom teeth heal up. Probably in the weekend or probably next week. And because I heard Matt Reeves has directed a very good movie, and it should be good. I'm hoping, because Matt Reeves is in the control of the Batman movie right now, so I would love to see one more stellar performance from that director before I decide to go see the Batman come 2018, 2019. And I heard D3 with Disney, they're getting excited for Jon Favreau's The Lion King. They used footage. That they've already made with real live animals and everything. Well, not real live animals, it's CGI animals, but it looks real. They did the whole entire Circle of Life thing, which I thought that was kind of cool. I have not seen the footage yet. I've heard it from a lot of people. So I gotta go. Please keep subscribing, and see you later.